the uniqueness of the network is that these are all professional journalists, and what we do is find them extra sources of income while they're sitting on a big story. Anybody that's worked abroad knows that stories roll around ever so infrequently, and when they do, you need to make as much money as is humanly possible over the course of that story. It's a very simple idea. We act as the agents. Basically, we're the sales tool. We have contacts with broadcasters around the world, English, French, Arabic, Spanish, and various other languages. They call us, they say we need a reporter here, we'll put them in touch. We pay the reporter within 30 days, when some of these broadcasters might take 90 to 120 days to pay. Of course, the reporter's going to make a little bit less money when they work with us, but they, on balance, will get paid quicker. And also, we pay the same whether they work for the world's biggest broadcaster or the world's smallest broadcaster. We make our margin in a different way. We're a traditional community. We use technology purely for communications. We have spent money in the past on websites, and I'll give you a timeline of the business because we started in 2000, just before 2000, just as the dot-com bubble was exploding or growing. We raised a lot of money and spent it on the website, which was a total waste of time. We then had the luck, I guess, in our business of nobody really quite believing that George Bush was going to go into Iraq. And on top of that, the Iraqis throwing out all the American networks. And we were left with quality professional journalists in Baghdad who had sat phones and everything else and could provide live news coverage. It was a massive leg up for us. I started the business because, having been a reporter myself in the field, you just know what it's like. You spend your time picking up the phone, ringing people, selling the story. You do Sausage Factory, the same story, again and again and again, different outcue to everybody. And then, on a quiet day, you have to waste all that money that you, in theory, have earned by calling them up saying, please pay me. So we've kind of got in the way of, in the middle of that, and kind of smoothed that process out. I guess the reason I've been asked to come and talk today is because in 2009 I thought, well, we're a trade site basically. We should try and see if we could flip it the other way and maybe use some of the network, if I can make this mouse work, to try something else and try and see if we could engage a community of people who are interested in a specific news story to fund a reporter to go and make a specific news story. It's pretty simple. It worked pretty well to start with. It had a very good logo and was picked up by a lot of American teens. You'll guess when you see the logo. This is an even worse incarnation of the original website. But I've got this now just as an example of what, in theory, you could do. The idea is you don't need many people paying small sums of money to make it worth a journalist to go out and cover a story. So if you've got enough people coming to a site saying, expressing an interest in a specific story, why not make it work? The problem was the site was a bit too grand, it was a bit too simple, we didn't focus it enough, it needed to be a little bit more niche. But the concept is still there, basically. It's the same concept that we sell to the broadcasters. A reporter's there, you pool the resources, we'll make sure the reporter gets paid properly. Everybody gets the coverage. It's not rocket science, it's pretty simple actually. Unfortunately I had to let it go because we just, it wasn't making any money, and at the end of the day, we're not in this for fun and games, we're in this to make money. So, but that said, I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to focus it much more on niche products. I mean, my shtick is that I think the thing that's lost at the moment is that technology and journalism are blurred into one. Journalism is very different from technology. Obviously, it's a trade. It's unique. Only people with skills can tell a story in a way that the audience will consistently come and want to read and listen to that or watch what that journalist has done. You can read all these blogs. There's lots of information out there, sure. But sometimes you have to scroll through lots of pictures, lots of video, lots of text before you find the top line. Whereas what you need is people who are on the ground, who understand the story, to be able to pull that to the top and deliver it consistently to an audience who will then come back. The other thing is, I don't really see that people will consume and spend more money on news if the app is cool. I think they'll come back and do it because they like the content. They're getting informed. So what I plan to do with Global FM is really try and narrow it down to very specific subjects, very small audiences. You know, the 100 oil traders who specialise in Latin American natural gas. And we have correspondents all over Latin America who can quite simply produce this content in a very... content, again, is the wrong word. That's a technology term. I'm sorry I use it. I don't like it. But stories are the key. They can deliver these stories in a way that these people will be able to listen to it, watch it in their cars on their way to work, or whatever, or listen to it on the cars on their way to work, or on the tube, or whatever, in a way that will inform them. They will then be able to go into the office. They've paid a little bit for it, so they have some ownership of it. They'll be able to turn around and have a leg up on their colleagues. I know a little bit more about this than you do because I've asked somebody to actually go and research that for me and actually deliver it in a very digestible form.